Do I look disappointed? I'm not.
Okay. Give her.
Oh, are we started?
Yeah.
It is recording. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Today is Friday of the second week of Lent.
Good to see you. Some of you have been asking where you can find the readings that we're reflecting on. From now on, I'll link in the description of the YouTube videos. They're on a website. It's the only place we've been able to find them. We haven't been able to find them in a book. So if you want to read along with us, the link is in the description. So today, Janelle?
There never was a moment from eternity when God did not think of us and did not love each one of us. That line just really stood out to me, because if you just ponder that for a moment, that God has always known you, even before the creation of the world, I think that's such a beautiful thing.
Earlier in the week, I was away in North Bay doing a youth conference and then a 3-day parish mission. So we did a couple of videos in a row in batch to get them ready for you. And flying home, I was going through something and a line stood out to me that was that God has for each one of us a work and a mission for which no one else has been called to, and that we are to be a kind of person that no one else is called to be. So there's a unique and individual call in each one of our lives that is different than every other person that God has created. And this is unique to you. And this call, as you mentioned, has been established before the foundation of the world. So in other words, you are uniquely loved.
Oh, if we could but understand the love that burns in the heart of Jesus for us. He has loved us so much that if all men, all the angels, and all the saints were to unite with all their energies, they could not arrive at the 1000th part of the love that Jesus bears to us. He loves us infinitely more than we love ourselves. He has loved us even to excess.
Okay. Are you ready for this? Okay. So I'm a father. I'm a father of 7 children. This is Pascal. You saw him a couple days ago. I'm not a perfect father, but if you could think about your father and the beautiful characteristics that you saw in your father, maybe he was kind and he was patient and he was generous and you recognize maybe sacrificial love. Maybe you have memories of just feeling secure and looked after and valued by your father. Those are beautiful memories. Now, what if we took all the beautiful characteristics that your father has and then add to your father all the beautiful characteristics and virtues and merits of every great father in this world. And we combine them all into one person, your father. And we perfect him, not to say anything negative about your dad, but we perfect him with every beautiful characteristic of every earthly father, all in one man, your father. That father would be a shadow of the love that God the Father has for us.
Mm-hmm. This love has induced him also to remain with us in the Holy Sacrament as on a throne of love. For he remains there under the appearance of a small piece of bread, shut up in a ciborium, where he seems to remain in perfect annihilation of his majesty, without movement and without the use of his senses, so that it seems that he performs no other office than that of loving men. Love makes us desire the constant presence of the object of our love. It is this love and this desire that makes Jesus Christ reside with us in the most holy sacrament.
Isn't it true that you want to be with the ones you love? And in fact, the more that you love someone, the harder it is not to be with them. I want to bring your attention to an experience that I had. I was, right when we got married, we had a beautiful honeymoon in a tropical destination. We flew back home. And then I jumped on a plane shortly after that and I flew out to a youth event. So in the evening, I was leading musical Eucharistic adoration for the young people. I was in the back in the choir loft looking down. All these young people had their hands up in the air, reaching forward towards Jesus. And it was really beautiful. But as I was leading music, I found myself thinking about you. And then also, I got to focus here. Jesus is before me. My mind is drifting and focus on Jesus, leading worship. And also my mind is drifting back towards you. I'm like, Jesus, why is this happening? And this phrase came to my mind. You want to be with the one you love. And then I saw the Eucharist. I just looked. It was like this grace. Why did Jesus remain with us in the Eucharist? Could it be that he loves us so much that he could not leave our presence? So he gave himself to us in the Eucharist simply because he wants to be with the one he loves, which is you.
He's getting so dirty. Okay, last thing. One thing that I love about St. Alphonsus' writings is that often at the end he talks about martyrs and their stories. And today he speaks to us about St. Perpetua and Felicity. And the funny thing is that I just read the story to our children. So in our family, what we're doing for Lent is that we're reading a saint story every single evening. And you know how I like to share resources with you all from time to time. This is a new book that we are going through, and it just has beautiful stories of the saints. So they go back from the earliest of saints to more modern saints. And so St. Perpetua and Felicity were just the other day. And, you know, it's so remarkable, like the story of their martyrdom and the fact that one of them was even pregnant while in prison. And in those days, they wouldn't martyr a pregnant woman, so they had to wait until after she had the baby. And the other one, she had a child, and so her child was brought to her so that she could nurse the baby. And I just think, wow, like that would be so incredibly difficult. And yet, they didn't cower away from martyrdom. They still chose to give themselves up for Christ. So beautiful.
Thanks for watching, friends. Share with us what stood out to you below in the comments and why. And we will take the weekend off. It's Friday, so we will see you again on Monday.
Mm-hmm. So don't forget to pray the Rosary, and if you have time, the Stations of the Cross.
Yeah, and you know, a real special thank you to all our monthly supporters who have been helping us. You know, we do this full time. We can't do these videos without the financial help of others, and so really, truly grateful for all the gifts and monthly support that has come in. We really value you who have helped us, and we want you to know we keep you in our prayers every evening when we say the Rosary.
Did we get a close-up of this? I just want to, like that? Is that good?
Did that work?
I think so.
I gotta go get the kids.
Okay, so you're going to go get them. Okay.
Or,
Well,
well, it's hard for you.